As the Tournament of Power continues to reach its conclusion, there are only 3 universes left in deciding the fate of which universe will be the last ones to survive by the very end, as Universe 3 steps up to the plate and merging its warriors together in creating the ultimate robotic assassin, enforcing our heroes in using their full power and fighting back. But the question is, how much damage did Universe 7 take, and will they have enough power to work together in defeating this newly merged enemy? What is going on, Dragon Ball fans? Welcome to my Dragon Ball Super episode 120 review entitled The Perfect Survival Tactic, Universe 3's Menacing Fighter, as we make our way towards Dragon Ball Super episode 121 as the final episode of the year, and having to spawn the battle with Universe 3 and ultimately concluding that battle in the coming weeks, as we now understand that Universe 7 is faced off against another fused warrior. Unlike how we saw with Kefla, these are multiple warriors having to combine their powers in forming a Megazord to battle Universe 7, and it's astonishing to me how far we've come in seeing these new warriors. But also, guys, keep in mind, this is the final month of the year as we've reached the pinnacle and conclusion of Dragon Ball Super for 2017, so I hope you guys sit back and enjoy. And again, if you guys are new to this channel and of course love Dragon Ball, consider punching that subscribe button, guys, and also click that bell icon. That way you guys can be notified whenever a brand new video is posted onto this channel and sent to you directly on your desktop or PC, hashtag Dragon Ball Squad. Now, just in case you guys were wondering as to why this review was late, because I am, if anything, one of the first people to put up a Dragon Ball Super review every single week. Tonight was actually a bit different. I re-debuted at House of Glory Wrestling on the same show as Ric Flair, Zack Sabre Jr., Amazing Red, and having to return to pro wrestling. So in case you guys don't know, I'm an actual pro wrestler, so you guys can follow me on Twitter for more information on that. And I actually saw the episode after my match tonight, and I was watching it with a few other wrestlers, and it's astonishing to me as to what we saw, because if it were up to me, I would have done my review right there on the fly, which would have featured multiple wrestlers. But I said to myself, I'm going to do it when I get home. And after watching it on Crunchyroll, it just amazed me as to the overall direction of this episode, because it was portrayed much better than how we saw last week. But either way, Dragon Ball Super episode 120 kicked off exactly where we left off, with basically Universe 7 having to admit that Universe 11 is going to be their final opponents in the Tournament of Power, which again, it's kind of obvious by now that they are, considering the way Jiren was looking at them was pretty insane, because you have to ask yourself as to how in the world Universe 7 plans on defeating Jiren is beyond me. But the robots that were featured in this episode, now, the way they operated, I think, was very impressive, considering the fact that Base Form Gohan, Base Form Vegeta, and Base Form Goku pretty much didn't really stand the chance early on as they were pushing them back. And I love how collectively the robots showed signs of aggressiveness, because having to be honest, looking at Universe 3, they didn't really do anything in the tournament. So having to see the robots be a bit more aggressive, especially with Gohan, I thought was really fun. Now, the one thing that kind of threw me off guard was the idea that Ultimate Gohan was having a difficult time early on in having to fight against these robots, because they were able to read Gohan's movements, they were able to read many of the fighters' movements, which Beerus actually pointed out. So that was pretty interesting, considering that Ultimate Gohan, as strong as he is, was essentially forced to matrix his way around these robots, because you gotta give it up to Gohan. This was Gohan's episode, and I was actually watching this at the House of Glory Wrestling Arena, and what's funny is, as I was watching Super on my phone, a lot of the other wrestlers are actually into Super as well, and everyone collectively was giving Gohan props in the locker room for seeing what he did. And the androids, I mean, the way they were collectively, you know, shooting out Ki Blast and trying to penetrate some of the robots, you have to ask yourself as to, yo, where in the hell were these robots before when you needed them? This goes back to my issue with the Tournament of Power in having to display characters, because most of these characters could have been showcased early on, but they kept them hidden up until this point. Why? I mean, I really did enjoy how 17 and 18 were able to completely just destroy the armor and the shield that one of the Universe 3 robots actually had, and further causing his elimination. So it's because of the androids that one of the fighters fell, and the only 3 remaining were the essential 3 that were fighting Gohan. So it kind of baffles me how Moscow orders, you know, Plan X to commence, and Pepperoni's the one behind all of this. And it's interesting how once Plan X actually fell into motion, Pepperoni said, "This is only the beginning, Universe 7, the beginning of your end." And Pepperoni being the leader, the guy behind the operational units behind these robots, I thought was very interesting because as the episode progressed, we get to see more or less how the robots kept getting stronger. And I'll be honest, once they merged, Gohan seemed to be in so much trouble because if these robots were giving everyone a difficult time in their base forms and forcing Gohan and pushing this robot back, when they combined bodies, it was so cool because everyone else on the sidelines was cheering Gohan on, and everything that he was doing in his ultimate form didn't do a damn thing, which I find very ironic how Pepperoni was laughing in saying that he isn't just big, you know, my fighter, my fused warrior actually has a speed increase, he has a power increase. And the one thing that kind of baffled me was early on in this episode, I think it was about 20 minutes in, where the hell was anyone to, you know, help Gohan essentially? Because while Gohan was getting pushed to the edge, we finally get to see how Goku comes in and Vegeta. It's kind of weird, and Goku even mentions how in this episode his stamina has, you know, recovered, and that was a problem for me. That was a problem for me because how in the world did Goku just recover his stamina so quickly after fighting Universe 6, Universe 2, and now Universe 3? It just really bothered me to see how quickly Goku recovered. But what was cool about this, and I do believe this is a first time thing, we get to see collectively Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, Super Saiyan Blue Goku, and Ultimate Gohan together, you know, fighting these robots and using the Kamehameha, the Gallic Gun. Seeing how Pepperoni kept bragging about, you know, this perfect masterpiece of his, how he can't be defeated, and this robot was pretty strong. I have to give this dude respect because in last week's episode, Universe 4 was completely fodder. I mean, I really forgot about them, you know, just a few days in. So seeing how functional these robots were against, you know, Gohan, Goku, and Vegeta was really impressive. I did enjoy that. However, the one thing that I did not enjoy was seeing how Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta literally had no significant impact on this robot whatsoever in their blue forms. And this should be something that should bother everybody, because where in the world do we go from here in seeing these warriors collectively use their full power to try to push back? Gohan jumped up in the middle of it trying to use his Kamehameha, and it just really bothered me how both Blue Goku and Blue Vegeta couldn't do dick to this robot and pushing him back. Now, Gohan's Kamehameha, it was caught by the robot, and I didn't really mind that because you have to consider it's three fighters having to merge their bodies into one. And, you know, as I was watching this, I said to myself, well, this is kind of counterproductive in the sense to where anybody now can be Ultimate Gohan level, anybody now can be Super Saiyan Blue level, and Pepperoni the whole time, as much as a lot of the other wrestlers, you know, couldn't stand him, I actually enjoyed him because he was the one that was bitching and complaining, and he was laughing, and he was, you know, pretty much taunting Universe 7 and saying how perfect his warrior is, using 1,200% of his power, increasing speed, increasing everything. And as Gohan, and it was because of Gohan, as Gohan unleashed this gigantic Kamehameha, what I enjoyed was seeing Piccolo's reaction and saying, "Do it, Gohan, do it, push him out." And this Kamehameha swallowed them up so much that by the end, I mean, Goku and Vegeta weren't really needed in trying to step in further to try to take these warriors down. And by the end of it, what was really interesting was Pepperoni, we saw after the gigantic Kamehameha, he was laughing. He was laughing at Goku and Vegeta when they confronted him in saying, "I have no choice but to do the following. I shall drop you from the fighting stage even if it costs me my life." And then all of a sudden, he tells everyone that he wants them to observe Universe 3's most powerful and final secret technique, which he held his staff up. And right then and there, we see how he's beginning to unleash something that's going to really affect the nature of what our characters are going to be getting into in the upcoming episode. Because just when you thought that, you know, we've seen the last of Universe 3, we get to see how finally they merge in creating this massive Ani-Raza-like being. And as I said in my previous video, we see how Ani-Raza not only fights Super Saiyan God Goku, but he also fights Super Saiyan Vegeta. It was really wonky to see. And to me, having to see Pepperoni, you know, talk about his initial final secret plan having to be put into motion and seeing what he can carry on forward after, it was kind of on and off, because why couldn't anyone like Frieza just ring these dudes out from the get-go. It just really baffled me because I wanted to see Frieza in this episode. He was only shown in the beginning, but going forward, there was something missing about this, and overall, this episode was way better than last week's, but I just felt like, realistically speaking, they could have easily wrung out Universe number 3 just by using blue level characters, just by using Ultimate Gohan, just by using characters of that nature. And the androids did good. They wrung out one person, but you know, when it comes down to teamwork, it's always wonky to talk about this because some characters take initiative in using teamwork while the others don't. So we have one more episode, guys, until the end of 2017. It's actually very captivating to me, and it's very amazing how, you know, we've come so far. And I am going to be doing my predictions video, my final predictions video for 2017. So you guys might want to go ahead and check that out, guys. Thank you all so much for watching this episode. I don't know, man, like, I just gave up on some of these characters because Universe 3, they've displayed some really cool stuff, but where in the world were they the entire time? Does anyone else not see the problem here in the idea that these dudes have literally done dick this entire time? And what bothers me the most is seeing the fact that these fighters could have done so much in this tournament, but as we go towards the end, and it is approaching the final 10 minutes, as we reach the end, it's like we finally come to realize that, yeah, okay, Universe 3 can actually do something, but, you know, they were just holding it back. Why? It just never made any sense to me. So I personally enjoyed the Universe 3 robots because they collectively went into just sort of like surreal assassin, like just, you know, crazy psycho mode. And I loved how, you know, early on, they were just essentially attacking Vegeta, and the animation was great. The music, Sumitomo's music always captivates me, man. And we've been talking about this on my Discord about, you know, Sumitomo's music and how every single one of the soundtracks, I think in Super, really does captivate and capture the moments that are needed for the episode to pretty much excel forward. So I would have to say this was definitely Gohan's episode. He did his part in just so showcasing raw power, and a lot of us wanted to see more from Ultimate Gohan, and it is confirmed from the beginning of this episode that it is going to come down to Universe 7 and Universe 11 in the end, and I'm telling you all right now, once that fight actually happens, all hell is gonna break loose. But in the end, I would like to know what you guys have to say down in the comment section below. Did you guys enjoy this episode? Did you guys hate this episode? What are your overall thoughts on the merger? What are your overall thoughts on seeing Ultimate Gohan in action? Gohan was struggling. I mean, you gotta give the guy credit for actually trying. Even though I agreed with Vegeta being Super Saiyan Blue, I really did not like how Goku was constantly tapping back into Super Saiyan Blue very casually. I felt as if it was kind of drawn out a bit, and they could have done more with that, but that's just my opinion, of course. Next week is going to be the final episode of 2017, and if you guys are watching up until this very point, I want to say thank you all so much for a fantastic year of Dragon Ball. It's been amazing, and if you guys have missed out my previous, you know, news coverage videos and discussions, make sure you guys go ahead and check those out, because the Dragon Ball Z movie for 2018 was announced alongside various different things from Junk Festa, and it's been a pleasure having to, you know, rewatch and revisit a lot of these episodes and seeing the good and the bad in the Tournament of Power, and we can expect a lot in 2018. So either way, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully enough, I will catch you guys in the predictions video, the final predictions video of 2017, as we go into Dragon Ball Super episode 121, and then the new year. So again, Happy New Year to all of you guys. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever it is you guys celebrate. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, if you guys are new to this channel, consider punching that subscribe button, guys. Turn on all notifications by clicking that bell icon. Again, I hope you all enjoyed. Tune back in for more, and I'll be seeing each and every single one of you guys down in the comment section below. And one last thing, we are starting a brand new podcast called Inside Culture. I will leave a link to that down below, where on that podcast, we're going to be talking about anime, Dragon Ball, Black Cover, Naruto, Boruto, Super, all kinds of different things, guys. So I highly encourage you guys to check that out. Thank you all so much for watching. Tune back in for more, and I'll be seeing you all down in the comment section, guys. Have a great day. Peace.